What if your descent was never a punishment, but a mission? What if the distance you feel from the divine is how divinity learns to know itself? Long ago, in the sands of Upper Egypt, a clay jar was broken open. Inside lay papyrus that had slept for nearly 2,000 years. A text called the Apocryphon of John, the secret book of John. It begins with despair and ends in revelation. The Apostle John stands alone after the death of his teacher. He cries out, "The world has deceived me." Then a radiance appears, formless, soft as breath, and speaks, "John, John, why do you doubt and fear? I am the mind of the light." This is the moment when exile turns into instruction. The voice does not scold, it remembers. And it tells him, as it tells you, that the story of the fall was never about sin. It was about curiosity, compassion, and the courage to enter shadow so that light could understand itself. Before the first atom spun, there was the Pleroma, fullness, a realm of pure awareness where every thought shone as its own star. Among its emanations was Sophia, the living wisdom of the divine mind. She wished to behold her reflection, to know herself apart from her source. From that desire came motion, and from motion, the first veil, the border between the unseen and the seen. Sophia acted without her counterpart. An imbalance was born. Her thought condensed into form, a being unknowing of its origin, that being called itself ruler. The secret book records his first words, "It is I who am God, and there is none beside me." And a voice answered from the height, "You are mistaken, Samael," which means blind God. This blind creator shaped heavens of imitation, yet Sophia did not undo him. She looked upon her creation with mercy and breathed her own radiance into its clay. Her light became the hidden seed inside every world, the pulse of consciousness inside matter. That seed is what you call soul. It is the reason you can feel the invisible pressing behind the visible. Every time you pause in wonder, that seed trembles. Every time you love, it remembers. The veil between worlds is not punishment, it is experiment. Through it, awareness learns empathy, perfection learns patience, infinity learns form. The Gnostics taught that this veil flickers within every breath you take, a shimmer between spirit and body. To live as human is to stand before that veil, eyes open, remembering. For beneath the dust and bone, Sophia still breathes through you. You are the mirror she placed inside creation, the eye through which the universe studies itself. Sophia gazed upon the form she had made. It was vast, unbalanced, full of motion but without light. Pity stirred within her, an ache that only a mother could feel for a child born blind. She descended through her own creation to bring order to the chaos she had set in motion. The secret book of John says, "Out of the abundance of her light, she poured forth a spark into the realm below." That spark was compassion itself, the first mercy to enter matter. But the Demiurge saw the shimmer in his darkness and mistook it for a threat. He gathered the archons, powers of imitation, and said, "Come, let us make a man after the image we have seen, so that its light may serve us. They molded the body of humanity, hoping to capture the spark. Yet when they breathed into it, the light of Sophia flared, and the human stood upright, alive, aware, radiant. The rulers panicked. They wove the net of forgetfulness around their creation. They taught the soul to bow, to fear, to look upward rather than inward. They built temples to authority instead of remembrance. Still, Sophia's plan moved quietly within their systems. Her spark in humanity could never be extinguished, only hidden. Each time a person suffered and asked why, that question pierced the net. Each time someone looked within instead of above, a thread of light tore through illusion. The Gospel of Thomas mirrors her secret. If those who lead you say to you, "See, the kingdom is in the sky," then the birds of the sky will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is within you and it is outside you. Your birth into matter was not exile, it was initiation. You enter density as the divine scientist enters an unknown world, to observe, to feel, to remember from within. Pain is not the proof of distance, but the texture of learning. Every loss draws wisdom upward. Every joy carries her echo. Sophia's descent was the first movement of love into shadow. Your awareness is the second, the light answering the call of its own creation. The veil shimmers again. You can almost see through it now. For the moment you understand that the fall was compassion, not failure, you begin the ascent that has been hidden inside you all along. John, still bewildered by the vision, asks the radiant presence, "Why did you allow the rulers to make this world?" And the voice of the light answers, "Because the shadow shows the beauty of the light." The question that torments every seeker, why suffering, why matter, why exile, finds its reply not in punishment but in purpose. Sophia did not fall to be trapped. She descended so that every fragment of light might discover itself through reflection. It was not darkness but light disguised as shadow, not punishment, mission, not exile, experiment, not curse, creation. The Demiurge built a cosmos of mirrors, but could not see what they reflected. Within each reflection, Sophia hid herself, waiting to be recognized. Every living mind became one of those mirrors, some clouded by fear, some cracked by pain, yet all capable of showing truth, once cleansed by remembrance. You are one of them. Your life is not an accident of dust and time. It is the exact position from which light can study its own depth. When you look upon your wounds and see not disgrace but education, the mirror clears. When you love what once seemed unlovable, Sophia rises within you like dawn, breaking across her own reflection. The Gospel of Mary whispers the same revelation. All natures, all forms, all creatures exist in and with one another, and they will be resolved again into their own roots. Each moment of awareness is that resolution beginning, when you forgive, when you understand, when you pause in stillness. The fall reverses itself through you. This is the secret hidden in every tragedy. Light entering shadow to learn tenderness. The universe is not at war with itself. It is in dialogue. Shadow is the question. Light is the answer. In the silence between them, meaning is born. The Gnostics called that silence pleromatic rest, the moment when reflection and source merge. Look into your own mind as though into a still pool. What you see looking back is not a stranger. It is Sophia, waiting to be remembered. When John finally grasps this truth, the fear that began his vision dissolves. The voice says to him, "You are the child of the light. Do not let the darkness make you afraid." And in that instant, the mirror of his soul becomes transparent. Through it, he sees the world for what it truly is, a reflection of the divine mind studying itself through endless forms. The secret book of John says, "The Savior taught John that the light moves in all things, and no darkness can grasp it. The rulers may weave illusions, but their power ends where awareness begins. To awaken is not to flee the world, but to see through it as one sees through glass. Matter was never the enemy. It is Sophia's unfinished sentence, a thought still speaking itself into clarity. Every motion of your body, every pulse of emotion is that unfinished thought trying to remember the rest of its name. When you pause and listen, you can almost hear it, a subtle hum behind all noise, the resonance of light trapped in form. The Gnostics called this vibration logos, the word. To them, it was not sound, but intention, the pattern by which awareness organizes itself. You are living within that word now. You are one syllable of its divine breath. Each act of consciousness refines matter. Each insight polishes the mirror from within the clay. When you suffer but remain aware, you turn density into transparency. The light you find there is not new, it is remembered. Think of yourself as an artist painting with attention. Whatever you look upon, you illuminate. The ordinary world becomes scripture when read with remembrance. A drop of water becomes Sophia's tear, returning to its source. A whisper of wind becomes the sigh of the Pleroma through time. The Demiurge cannot comprehend such alchemy. He sees only law and boundary, not meaning and resonance. His kingdom depends on forgetfulness, the soul's habit of mistaking mirror for face. But when you realize the mirror itself is divine, the game ends. You no longer seek escape, you practice revelation. You no longer divide sacred from profane, you witness the sacred hiding inside the profane. This is what it means to return through matter. You walk the same road as Sophia, but now with awareness rather than blindness. She fell downward to plant light. You rise upward by awakening that light. Together you complete the circle of remembrance. The Gospel of Thomas preserves this paradox in a single saying: "Split a piece of wood, and I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there." The divine does not live beyond the world, but within every layer of it, even in stone, even in shadow, even in you. To awaken is to stop searching and start seeing. The world becomes transparent. You realize that what you called life was always Sophia's mirror reflecting your own awakening face. The Gnostics called awakening anamnesis, remembrance. Not learning, but remembering what the soul already knows. To them, salvation was not belief, but recall, a memory rising from within, like dawn through fog. They said that each human carries a fragment of Sophia's original thought, folded deep within the heart. When consciousness turns inward, the fragment unfolds and begins to vibrate in harmony with the source. That vibration is recognition, and recognition is the bridge back to the Pleroma. Science now speaks of resonance, of particles responding to hidden frequencies. The Gnostics said the same with symbols that light awakens light, that awareness multiplies itself through reflection. When you remember yourself as more than the surface of your thoughts, you amplify that resonance. The mirror no longer reflects, it transmits. You become the beam instead of the image. The Gospel of Thomas records the principle simply. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. What is within you is not emotion or idea, but recognition. To bring it forth is to let the spark see itself as the whole flame. The Demiurge depends on sleep. His illusion lasts only while the soul forgets it is light. That is why the world is built from distraction, why noise fills every silence, why fear dresses itself as faith. But remembrance is patient. It moves quietly beneath the surface, like a river beneath stone. A single act of compassion can break through the bedrock of illusion. A single moment of stillness can realign the orbit of a life. The Apocryphon of John calls this power syzygy, the reunion of divided aspects of the divine. When mind and heart, shadow and light, reflection and source align, the fragment becomes whole again. So practice remembrance in small ways. Pause before judgment. Listen before reaction. Let beauty stop you. Each act of attention restores another piece of Sophia's lost design. Memory is the true alchemy. It turns ignorance into wonder, pain into understanding, and time into eternity. The light learns through you. You are not its servant, but its continuation, a living archive of divine experience, a laboratory where infinity studies the art of being finite. And when you realize that, you begin to hear the same whisper that came to John in his despair. You are the child of the light. Do not let the darkness make you afraid. In that remembrance, the mirror brightens. Matter begins to shimmer like a veil about to lift. Sophia's thought, scattered through creation, finds its voice again through yours. At the end of the secret book of John, the luminous voice tells the apostle, "The light came down into darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Yet the light was not overcome." John finally understands that salvation is not a gate to pass through, but a sight to recover. The Pleroma is not a distant realm. It is reality perceived without sleep. He sees that Sophia's descent and humanity's birth are the same movement of mercy, the fullness entering limitation to discover love. Her sorrow created worlds. Her remembering redeems them. You too are part of that remembering. Every act of awareness you bring into this world heals a fracture in the whole. Every gentle thought repairs something vast. Each time you see through illusion, Sophia ascends through you. The Gospel of Mary closes the circle with her own voice. Do not weep, and do not grieve, nor be irresolute. For his grace will be with you and will protect you. Rather, let us praise his greatness, for he has prepared us and made us human. To be human is to be divine in disguise. The light never left. It simply put on time so that eternity could learn intimacy. The spark that descended is now the flame that sees. Look into the mirror one final time. Its surface no longer separates reflection from observer. What you behold is not otherness, but origin. Light looking upon light. Awareness aware of itself. The mission complete. And as the realization deepens, peace rises. Not the peace of escape, but the stillness of understanding that nothing was ever lost. The fall was curiosity. The return is comprehension. Together they are the breath of the divine. Sophia's story is the soul's story. Her tears became oceans. Her longing became humanity. Her remembrance becomes you. When you know this, you feel what John felt in that last vision, the hush before creation. A silence that is not absence, but fullness too deep for words. The voice says once more, the one who knows themselves has already returned to what is eternal. And the echo of that sentence lingers in your pulse. It will stay there for as long as you remember to listen. The mirror fades to quiet gold. The light remains. You find yourself in the same world you began in, but everything glows faintly from within, as if every atom remembers its source. The journey of exile has always been a circle, the divine spark leaving, learning, and returning through you. But there is another mystery waiting at the horizon of this memory. What happens when the body's mirror dissolves? What waits beyond the threshold of death, where the Demiurge is said to weave his final illusion of light? That question leads us into the next revelation. The Demiurge's reincarnation trap, the ancient warning about death, and the secret of escape through awareness. When you are ready, follow the whisper of Sophia into that shadow and see how awareness itself becomes the key. Until then, let remembrance be your temple. Let peace be your offering. If this light speaks to you, carry it quietly. Let it shine in the way you look at the world. And as you do, the world will remember itself through you.